It's the marvelous one, Dan Marver. It's Devin Tingle. It's Paul Chivari and myself, Mike Mercado. That wasn't the only big news, marvelous one. We have ourselves a brand new player to love and like and watch over at the United Center, and that is Dalen Terry. They also have made some moves. It's been a crazy week in free agency. We'll be covering free agency as it goes on. Zach LaVine did sign his extension. I'm going to let the floor open to you, marvelous one. The Chicago Bulls, the last week and a half, your thoughts of the draft and the free agency period.
I think the big news was Andre Drummond. I've been politicking for another big, and he's 6'10", so he fits that role. So I like that acquisition as a free agent. LaVine signing, I was worried that it wouldn't happen, so that's a big plus. You know, the other thing that they're lacking, like I've been saying every episode, is a three-point consistency. In the final game against Milwaukee in Game 5, they put up 52 three-point shots. They made about, I think, 15. So, I mean, they need really a consistent three-point shooter. I don't think Suno necessarily is it, or Caruso, but I think that would be a big need yet, to have to allow Drummond and maybe Vukovic down low to operate a little better with a threat of a consistent three-point shooter. And so that's the other need. But I like LaVine staying. I like the Drummond acquisition. Who knows about Terry? It's another, big guard, and they have a few of those. So he's more of a defender than a three-point shooter, it seems like, from the report on him out of Arizona. But another nice acquisition. I thought that they might have gone a little different route in that draft, but they picked what they felt was the best fit for them at this time, and I hope that it works out. But I just want a scorer from that guard position at this point.
And I think for a lot of Bulls fans, what they're realizing, and when you listen to Mark Eversley, when you listen to our Torres Karnisovas, is they like this roster. They like consistency. I think what's different from this regime than the past regime is they're not naive. They will make a move. They will break up what they call their core, but they're willing to run it back. I'm with you. Dalen Terry is a nice prospect, very much in the same ilk of Patrick Williams, of the type of player this organization seems to go after. Best available talent. Whether that's the best available player at the moment is a different story, because I don't think they've been doing that. I think they've been going purely on potential. Free agency market is interesting. I think a lot of Bulls fans wanted this team to be much more aggressive, speaking of that word for front office, but I don't think this team is in a position to be aggressive enough to get a Kevin Durant. They have to be aggressive enough to make the call, to see what they can offer, but I don't think they have the assets to do it just yet. What I do think they do is be competitive, keep drafting talent, and you're able to put yourself in a position when you do have those assets, when you are in a place that you can dump off a Vucevic contract, hopefully coming off of a better season, Zach LaVine being healthy, Patrick Williams taking a step to become an even better destination. The Bulls are a fantastic destination, but we just saw with Gallinari, he chose Boston over Chicago for less money because Boston's a little bit more ready for a real playoff push. The Bulls are a playoff team. The Eastern Conference is getting tougher and tougher, but put yourself in a spot, get in another playoff series, and wait till next season. That's all this is. It's baby steps. Marvelous one. You've watched a lot of NBA basketball. This is a process, correct? This is something that's going to take this Bulls team a little bit of time, some more maneuvers, and eventually, if they're smart, they'll be in the right position.
That's right. I mean, I think Kobe White's value wasn't enough to move him. I thought he'd be moved for sure draft day. And I saw that Rudy Gobert went from Utah to Minnesota. He was somebody we were looking at too. So there's still some places doing the right way. And now that Zach LaVine is a more money contract than Michael Jordan ever had, it goes to show you what's happening in today's economics.
Oh, it's crazy, Marvelous. Like, these veteran minimum deals are $10 million. Guys are getting $6 million who don't do anything. I mean, if you're a specialist, if you're shooting 38% in the NBA at the three-point range, you're getting $15 million guaranteed. And you know what? I'm not going to hate. God bless you, because Charles Barkley deserved that money. All those guys that are legit superheroes to us kids that love the NBA, and guys like you who are watching them in their prime, they deserve the big-time money. Heck, you're worth as much money as somebody wants to pay you. So shout out to Zach LaVine, because this is something I heard, Marvelous one, and I think we can end this 4th of July edition of some college football talk and Bulls talk. Was Zach LaVine, before going into the season, said, I was going to be a better offensive player. I'm going to be a better defensive player. I'm going to be better. And guess what? He did all three. And that is something you and I have talked about. I'm like, if you're going to give this guy this much money, At least he's earned it. He's come back. We're waiting on Lonzo Ball right now. We still don't know if he's going to be ready come September, October. But I know for a fact, no matter what happens to Zach LaVine, that dude is going to be there when he says he's going to be there. That's not a shot at Lonzo. That's how great and how much heart and how much made of steel this dude is in Zach LaVine. It's a lot of money, but you know what? If I'm going to invest that much money and you see all these different dudes in the NBA, I'm looking at you, the New York Knicks, that are just giving contracts to anybody. At least they're giving it to what seems to be a stand-up dude. Marvelous. I'll let you leave on this one, my friendo. We've seen the crazy weekend that is. Did the Bulls get better, worse? Did the Eastern Conference get better or worse? Super early, but your general thoughts of the entire NBA after these last few days.
I looked at the first half of the Bulls season. And people were healthy. I mean, how many Patrick Williams played in so few games this year? And obviously, Zach was injured a bit. So, I mean, I look at that team that played the first 40 games was the best team in the East, and they've added some pieces, so I think they're a legitimate playoff team. Whether they're a legitimate championship contender, I don't know, because as I've always said, I don't think that they can beat Milwaukee with the Greek Freak and Boston either at this point. So we'll just have to see. Those teams are still stronger than the Bulls, and even maybe Philadelphia for that matter. And there are a lot of teams in the East that are really going to be tough for the Bulls to beat because they don't match up that well in certain spots. But, I think they're a playoff team going forward. And, I think that they should be exciting. It should be an exciting year. And I didn't expect them to maintain the strengths that they had. I think that they have a lot of strengths that they maintain. They added a little something in Drummond that they need. And, a couple more pieces, I think, would do the trick. But I think they're definitely going to be for a playoff position and maybe win a round or two if they don't have to play Milwaukee right away again.
All right, Marvelous. I'll let you leave on this one. A firework of a question, a really heat burger on this one. Kevin Durant, A, does he get traded? And B, where do you think he gets traded to?
Well, it's always funny. A guy wants to be traded. I don't know why. It seems like they always end up in L.A. I don't know, like for Westbrook maybe or something. I don't know. Stars that want to be traded, so that would be my bet. Clippers or Lakers.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a good chance that it might be. I don't think it's going to be Phoenix unless they get a third team involved. I think in my idea, the three teams involved, if you want to see this super trade, is the Nets, the Heat, and Phoenix. Bam heads one way. Aiden ends one way. Kevin Durant ends one way. The real wild card in all this is what the Lakers want to do with Kyrie Irving. And that's something we're not going to touch with a 10-foot pole, at least until it happens, because we don't need any of that craziness. There are plenty of already things going a-boom this weekend. And with that, we want to know your thoughts. What did you think of the Chicago Bulls and their draft the week that was the NBA free agency for the entire league? Where does Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving end up? Let us know. We're on Twitter at Sports Cubicle TV. Marvelous. Have a wonderful, safe 4th of July weekend, my friend.
You too. Just watch out for those stray fireworks.
Or sparklers so that I don't burn my little fingies. And make sure you guys don't burn your little fingers or your fingers off. We're looking at you, Pierre Paul. Make sure you don't do that because we want to see you on the next edition of the Sports Cubicle. It's the marvelous one, Dan Marver. It's Devin Tingle. It's Paul Chivari. I'm Mike Mercado.